Happy Easter and welcome to the team call. I think we are all pretty excited because today we have the honour and pleasure of having Louise Evans lead the call, and she's going to be talking about mindset, manifestation. Louise, for those of you guys who don't know Louise, is relatively new to the team. She's in Tiffany Rising's downline. She's known Tiff for quite some time. She's a mental healthcare worker. And she has also done Bob Proctor's coaching course. Now, I may have got some of that slightly incorrect, so I'm sure Louise will correct me. But I had a conversation with Louise on, I can't even remember what day it was. I think it was Friday. And we spoke for about half an hour about kind of her and her business. And genuinely for about half an hour, we spoke about me and mindset. And she just blew my mind, and she is such a fountain of knowledge. She's so intuitive, and I think she has so much to offer every single person on this call. So I think we are absolutely privileged for her to be making the time. And I asked her at short notice, so I'm really, really grateful that on Easter Sunday, I know she works really busy hours in mental health care as well. She agreed to do it, having already done a seminar on it a couple of days ago. So I'm going to pass the floor across to Louise.
Yay! So what I thought I'd do is just basically what I did the other night. Lisa was on the call, but I've added a few little bits as well. So Lisa will get something out of it extra, and everyone else will get to experience what Lisa experienced. And basically it took about an hour last time. So what I'll try and do is just call, I've got to share screen on Zoom, but I can do that, can I? Even though it's not me that set it up. So I'll just, here we go. Okay. Wait. So, all very informal and fun. So what the F is manifestation? So, let me just make this a tiny bit out of the way. Manifestation is about using the power of your mind to get the things that you desire to come into your life. So manifestation is not magic, as much as it can be presented as such sometimes. It is a real thing, and it is about taking ideas from the invisible to the visible through a natural progression over time. So what do you desire? You can manifest beliefs, concepts, material things, happenings, events, and more. So has everyone got like a bit of paper and a pen close by? Or if you haven't, just grab one, because I've got a little activity for us to do. And it's just basically to think about things that you want, and it can be like list format or do a spider diagram, and think about things. It helps me to think about things in the following categories, like material things, happenings, events, and beliefs, concepts. One point I'd like to make here, don't think about how you will get these. Just allow your imagination to run wild. What your mind will try and do is come up with lots of reasons why you can't have the things that you want. You'll generally think of what you want, and then a reason will come in why you can't have it soon after. So just write down whatever pops into your mind. And here is my diagram in case you get a bit stuck. These are the kind of things that I stick on mine. And yeah, just to give you some ideas and prompt your own ideas. Okay. So a few of you look like you might be done. If you can raise your hand when you're all done. Is that a good way? I can see a few. Oh, right, you're doing it on the camera. There's a way that you can do it in chat as well. Put your, like, there's a little raise hand button. I'll see if I can open the grid so I can see more of you. Is there anyone that's still going that needs a bit more time? Looks like everyone's done. Okay. So, open your mind to the fact that you have extraordinary powers within you. When you hear people say that anything is possible, it sounds like BS, right? But anything is possible in the fourth dimensional space of your imagination. Our imagination is really powerful, but most of us are using our imagination against ourselves unknowingly in a destructive way instead of constructively to create what we want. So when we worry about things, what we're actually doing is emotionally impressing those thoughts in a chronic way on our subconscious mind. So we're inadvertently drawing to us the things that we don't want, because our subconscious has no capacity to differentiate between what we want and what we don't want. All it knows is that we're impressing something again and again with emotion, whether that's fear because we worrying about something, or we're impressing something that we're excited about and that or that we'd like. It doesn't differentiate between if it's good or bad. It just accepts and draws it to us. So most of us concentrate on making results happen in the physical plane, right? So when we want to achieve something, we set about trying to make it happen in our external reality, in our physical space. But what we want to start doing is practicing thinking fourth dimensionally. And I'm borrowing a terminology from a spiritual teacher called Neville Goddard. There, he wrote a book called The Power of Awareness in the 1950s, I think. And it's a really, really awesome book. It's really easy to read. I'd recommend it to anybody. Really, really good book on manifesting and yeah, about a really good book for expanding your awareness. I think I read it. I just repeated reading it all the time. I was obsessed with it. So we can constructively use our imagination to design our inner world. So the idea is that we change the inside in order to change the outside. So for most of us, our results will be mixed. Some things going well in blue and some things not so well in red. And on the left-hand side of the screen, that little kind of bubble is supposed to represent the inner space, our fourth dimensional space. So that's in our mind and our imagination. And whatever we hold on that side is what we, where's that blue line come from? That's weird. Whatever we see in our imagination is what manifests in our physical reality. Yeah, I don't know where that blue scribble came from. That's pretty clever. I don't know how I managed to do that. Yeah, so what we see on the screen of our mind determines the results that we get in our physical world. Yeah. So the activity is for you guys to choose one of your desires from each category, maybe. So whatever kind of resonates with you most highly, choose that because we're going to apply a 5-step process to each one. And this system is something that I have learned through a membership site that I'm part of. And it's basically decide what you want. So 3 things off your lists that you made before. And for each one, you want to think of an end scene that represents the attainment of that thing. So if you're, say, like, I want an Audi TT, yeah? So my end scene might be I'm behind the wheel and I can feel that wheel and I can smell the leather and I'm driving it. I'm just about to drive it out of the showroom, and that my view is I'm looking out over the steering wheel through the window screen. And then what you're going to do when you get that end scene is you're going to activate it with emotion. And what we're going to use to activate it is some music. We're going to put on some really kind of powerful, elevating music, like the type of music they use in epic film scenes. And yeah, you're just going to kind of imagine yourself there, impress lots of emotion on it. We're probably going to play the track for about 45 seconds or so, and then we're going to stop. And step number 4 is you're going to come back and you're just going to let it go. And feel grateful. You know, focus on things that you feel grateful for. Don't overthink it. Don't try and force it. Trust it will happen. Get on with your day. You know, go and do your goal achieving activities and just notice the things that you're grateful for, and then you repeat every day. So for the 3 things, we'll go steps 1 to 3 and let it go, but obviously we won't be like going off and getting on with our day. We'll complete it for each of the 3 things that you choose, and yeah, and then that'll be it. So has everybody got their things that they want to do? Yeah. Okay, so now I need to share a different screen. I think it's this one. Okay. Ooh, this is a good track. Shall I save that? Or which one shall I put on first? I'll put on that one.
How would you like a business that you can run from anywhere in the world, practically on autopilot?
Okay. Okay, right. So in a second, I'm going to put on the music. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Hopefully it's not going to blast your ears off, because I don't know how loud it's going to be. And I want you to close your eyes, get the picture on the screen of your mind, and just really be there with emotion. Okay, so speakers. Okay, is that going to be a bit loud? Ready? So come back out and you hold on to the feeling just for a couple of seconds and then you just let it go. You don't overthink it. Nothing is going to kind of poof out of thin air. Let me just take you back to here. Yeah, so it's not like something is gonna poof out of thin air. It's not like if you were thinking about, oh, I've got £10,000 in my bank account, you're gonna go in your bank account and it's gonna be there. But what you've done is activated in the fourth dimensional space a process. And part of letting go is allowing a bridge of events to happen naturally over time, and you won't be able to foresee what that bridge of events will be. And the more that you try and preempt it by looking and you know, continually searching for signs, the more that actually you're telling the universe that you don't trust in the process and you're doubting. So the more that you can kind of just set the intention and then let it go, and letting go is a hard thing for a lot of us to do in many, many spheres of our lives. But the more you can let it go, the more it will naturally unfold. So what we'll do is go back, and I think I've got another track I'll put on. I don't think you heard this one, Lisa. It's a good one. You'll enjoy this one. I just got to find the screen. So choose your second thing that you on your list. Why isn't it doing what I want it to? Right, is it? You share. For some reason. Okay, so this one, or should I save that one for the end? I might save it for the end. It's my favorite. Okay, I'll put this one on next. I want to turn the volume up a bit. How loud was it before? Was it okay, or does it need to go up a bit? Up. The best is to have headphones. Then it's really good if you've got headphones. I think Izzy's putting headphones on. Anyone that wants to put headphones on, I'll wait for you. I wish I could but easily flip the camera to show you. Like, I live on an estate in an old hospital grounds, and the sea, the ocean is right over there. And since all this stuff has been going on recently and people have been, you know, on lockdown, I never seen so many people walking around and like going on little walks with their dogs, and like it's really nice, like, and families kind of like, I can see somebody by the ocean now with their kids just cycling past, and there's like a Bichon Frise walking up the path here with a little old couple. It's really cute. Oh, has everyone got their headphones? Are you all ready to go? Okay, are we ready to go? I'll pop it on. Hey guys, how you feeling? I had a little nose through and I saw some big smiles going on there from some people and emotion on your faces. Some of you look really emotional. And that's kind of what you want, and what you'll notice the more that you practice this, because what you're actually doing is honing a higher mental faculty that we all have, but it's like a muscle. And if you've never used it, you might find a little bit that your picture isn't that clear, or you're kind of jumping from one thing to another, or your mind is like a load of rambling sheep and you can't kind of get it to focus. But the feeling is the most important thing, and you'll find that kind of over time the feeling that you get will be increasingly more vibrational, and you'll notice like your inner energy field building more and more. So we'll do the last one. I've got a really nice track for this one, so if everyone can let go of the old one, don't be expecting it to poof out of thin air, and bring your third and final end scene to your mind, and we'll pop on the last track. Okay, everyone ready? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let me. Okay. So, how did it feel? These are some of the feelings that I noticed after one particular session. I'm not sure how many days I'd repeated this kind of little cycle for, but I was getting some really kind of expansive feelings going on, just floods of emotion, like kind of a release, and just feeling like, those tears, like almost wanting to cry, because the feeling of like the possibility and actually believing that things could happen. And it's always for me more about the beliefs and the concepts and the happenings rather than the material things as such that I find the most emotive. So for you guys, you know, maybe like the concept of building a community of like-minded women, that the concept of being able to help people, the concept of being able to provide for your family and never having to worry about money, and ultimately freedom, right? That's the thing I think that all of us are craving. Like my sister, when she did this with us in the group and in the webinar the other evening, she said that she kept getting an image in her mind of galloping on a horse. And isn't that the ultimate expression of freedom? You know, like it struck me that so many of us, time and money are constraining us, and in our minds we can kind of imagine any possibility for our life, and that includes, you know, being able to build a huge massive income and not having to work yourself into the ground for it. You know, that ultimate lifestyle freedom is something that we all deserve, and it should be our birthright, and it is our birthright. So feeling is your conscious awareness of the vibration that you're in. You want to be feeling ease around manifestation. It should be a fun, pleasurable thing. You know, if you're loading yourself with pressure around, oh, you know, am I doing it right? Doubting the process, feeling like, oh, this is a load of BS, it's not going to happen, then you're right. You know, your belief is what creates your reality, actually. And many of us grew up with a belief of not being worthy. You know, the number one belief that holds us back is, you know, a lack of worthiness, and it stems from oftentimes some kind of sense of struggle or poverty in childhood, or you know, some person or society telling us that we weren't good enough in some way. So vibration precedes manifestation, and you can manifest, you know, beliefs as well. So you really want to be kind of focusing on maybe manifesting beliefs around worthiness and situations that underpin that, you know, like maybe clients coming in, you know, how many customers or coaches do you want in a month? Your end scene might be something like seeing that, you know, you're logging into your coach account and you see how many success club points that you want in that little area. You know, you see that in your mind. So yeah, you want to cultivate a feeling of creativity and of fun and playfulness in this process. Common challenges. Be mindful that there is a gestation period. It's kind of a little bit like gardening. You plant a seed and then you water it and it grows. You don't plant the seed and then 5 minutes later you're like digging it up thinking, why isn't it grown? There's a gestation period, and the allowing of the unfoldment of events. Let the universe surprise you. You can't possibly know how it's going to be delivered to you, whatever it is that you've asked for. Things are not going to pop out of thin air. Let go of overthinking. And as the chief overthinker from a very young age, this is something that I say, you know, with a little bit of a giggle and a smile, because I know how difficult it can be. But I think sometimes we ask for things, but we're not so great at receiving. Like, think how you feel when you receive a compliment of somebody. Do you accept it easily? If you don't, that's a big sign that you're not really in the receiving mode, you know, that you're not so great at receiving. So maybe that's a belief that you would want to kind of play around with for yourself in this 5-step process. take inspired action, but let go of thinking that you have to make things happen. If you're going out there and forcefully trying to bring together incidents instead of allowing them to unfold naturally, you're blocking the process. You will, the more that you practice this, you will start to notice coincidences happening. You will start to notice that your intuition is pulling you towards certain actions, and sometimes they won't make any sense. If they don't make sense, that means you really need to do them even more, in my opinion, in my experience. But don't search for it, because that is doubting the process. You want to kind of embrace the process as much as you can. Have faith in the process and trust that what you've asked for will come. And I highly recommend that, as well as repeating this every day, that you study something like Neville Goddard, just to create that understanding. There are other people. Esther Hicks is also a big authority on manifestation. Bob Proctor, huge authority on all of this prosperity consciousness. And oh God, he's, you know, been, what, 60 years kind of teaching this kind of stuff. So the more that you understand it, and more than understand it, you study it every day, because that's how you change paradigms, right? That's how you change your belief system, is over time and through repetition. So I know that you're all on mute, but if anybody's got any questions or wants to put up their hand, I'm not sure. Whether Izzy would have to unmute because she did the call, or whether I could, but yeah, if you've got anything to share.
With everyone, so if anyone wants to talk, go for it.
Yeah, how did it feel? Did anyone have a particularly kind of emotional experience, or was it all a little bit like mind wandering like sheep, or?
I found it just incredible. I think, you know, just it's really interesting how just being given that task for a relatively short period of time can really get you focused on where you want to go. And you know, I know a lot of I know I was speaking to Louise about this, and I know a lot of you guys do it. You write down like and actually for me, like one of the kind of three significant things, it gave me the strongest emotion, which really surprised me.
Gave you strong emotion?
Yeah, so like the thing that I would say is least significant,
yeah,
mind, more emotion than any of the other two things, which was interesting.
Yeah. It's funny how our minds can surprise us like that, actually. My sister noticed that for the material thing, she didn't really feel that much. And I think that can be quite a common thing, that something like a car or just the money, it's more about what the money represents. So when I'm thinking about, oh, I've got 10 grand in my bank in a month, I'm thinking about all the clients that I've served to get that. And that kind of fills me with the emotion. Did anybody else notice? Did they think it, does anyone think it's a technique that they might use again?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I felt really, really emotional that I actually did cry a little bit.
Yeah, that's a really good sign though, because that is a sign that it's kind of, it's a release of energy, isn't it? So it's a really good sign that you've connected with whatever you were kind of visualizing. So that's exactly what you want. And you'll get, you know, if you repeat it each day, and you don't need to do it for the same things either, different things. It can be along the same theme, you know, like but different amounts of money or different kind of end scenes. It's more about kind of, you can do it for the same thing, but you don't want to ever feel like you're doing it day in, day out, and you're thinking, oh, where is it kind of thing, because it can get quite easy to get into that type of energy with it, and you don't want that. You want a sense of ease and playfulness with it and to trust in it. And yeah, it's funny because like as the days have been, I've probably been doing it for, this will be the 4th week just coming into, and the things that are happening, I'm just noticing some crazy stuff. Just little things little things and big things that keep happening, and I just noticing feelings as well that I've kind of written down, and like even as far as kind of leading this training call, it's around a theme that I've identified in some of my kind of happenings. It's a vision that I have for myself, is to lead coaches. So it's funny how things come together, and collaboration actually, like collaborating. You were messaging me, Donna, the other day before I was just going into a shift in work, and Donna messaged me on the way to work, and I can believe it when I listen to it, because it's exactly what I've been, but I didn't know that it was going to manifest like that, because you won't, you ask for these kind of concepts or beliefs or happenings, but you have no idea how it's actually going to be delivered to you. And then when it is in this weird and wonderful way, you just know inside, you just have this feeling, and you think, oh my effing God, this, and you just get that kind of uplift, and it just strikes you, and there's no coincidences. Like there's something that happened with my sister today, and we were laughing about it, because it was just, we used to do a study group together, and I've set it up, I've reset it up today, and she's found the old book that she used to have, and like literally minutes afterwards. And it's just little, and it can be little things like that, but it can be much kind of greater coincidences as well. But I hope that you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. And thank you all for participating, because I get so much out of being able repeating it and trying to explain it in a way that makes sense, and I hope that I did that for you guys. Thank you,
honestly,
really, for the opportunity.
It was so amazing, and I think it was just something that, as someone who's been in coaching for 2 years, I think, we all hear it, right? It's 90% mindset. And, I think as a leader, that can be the tricky thing sometimes, right? Because and no one's perfect with their mindset, right? And we all work. But I think that's kind of for people who, have a big vision or are getting frustrated or aren't hitting their goals. I think for me, sometimes I feel a little bit helpless, that I can't, I wish that I could get you there, and that I can't help with that element of it. And I just think what Louise has just shared is just so incredibly powerful, and something that hopefully is, going to serve us all really well. And I mean, I've honestly never received such an amazing training on mindset, Louise. So thank you. It was phenomenal.
No.
And you are a true talent.
It's my pleasure. And you're all warriors, this is not an easy road when you're continually pushing out of your comfort zone. Things, there's such things as paradigms. They're in your subconscious mind, and they're basically trying to keep you fixed to your old self. And whenever you try and move beyond that, they get pissed off. Your central nervous system will kick in and try and make you close in on yourself, and all these self-doubting thoughts will come along, and it can be excruciating. So many of you are going in at what's called the terror barrier, actually, and you need that little bit of support and a shove. Please do not hesitate to message me. I can talk you through exactly what's going on. And on the other side of that barrier is every wall. I promise you, it's so worth it. And we all kind of get caught up in the barriers. That's the thing, because it means that you're pushing. You're continually pushing out of that that comfort zone. You know, it's like that book club, the book with the lady, figure outable, everything's figure outable, when she's talking about fear being your friend, and it's actually a sign, you know, it's a good sign, and it's got something to teach you. It really has. You know, the more that we can embrace fear and use it as, get excited about it, because it means that something good is coming. Because if you're not scared, it means you're not pushing out of your comfort zone. I always know when I'm feeling really apprehensive, like scared, contracted. I kind of have learnt to embrace that and get excited about it. I flip it, because I know, oh, hang on, what's going on here? You know, because it's not always that you're going backwards. I think sometimes we get annoyed with ourselves when we're feeling like challenged, and sometimes, you know, challenge doesn't mean that you're failing at something, or we get down on ourselves because we've not quite matched up to the mark. We feel like we failed. But in the gym, when you cultivate failure, it's the precursor to growth. There's no other way through it. So reverse it and think, wow, this is something good. And you can do that with anything. Reframe it as something good. Everything is good.
Well, I could probably listen.
There's a lot of power on this call. Between us all, you know, there's a big connection. We've got big work to do, ladies, and
I think
it's a rocky time.
The
time is now.
The piece Louise said about collaboration and things, I think, is so important. And I had a chat with Donna as well a couple of days ago, just from a voice clipping, and, you know, really just, you know, using each other's skill sets to really help push the team forward. So, like, you know, if there's something that you're, you know, qualified in, or even you might not be qualified in, you might just be really strong at some element of something that relates to what we do, that, you know, you could share in challenge groups, you know, kind of encouraging that collaboration, which is what Louise is talking about. And I know Donna's been talking to her about it. I think that's just so important, and kind of each taking our own responsibility for the team's growth. And I know Louise is, you know, amazingly supportive, and that was phenomenal. So yeah, just something to think about, and something that gets us to kind of, I suppose, take our foot off the pedal for a minute and just kind of, you know, do that piece that I think when we're new, we kind of, maybe we've never done mindset work before, we don't know where to start, and perhaps that's the piece we skip. And I think this is probably, if that was you, giving you the sense that actually this is something that needs to come first.
It really is that inside. Then you work on here and you watch everything, how fast it transforms. And actually, I was doing a bit of study earlier, and something really stuck out to me, in that sometimes, and this experience, things can start to change so fast that the ego jumps in and wants to grab and grip it, and we've just got to let go and relax, and just transform and progress. Because when you're serving in the way that we are as coaches, it's going to come back to you in spades. You know, you're going to grow fast in an accelerated rate, and growth is scary sometimes because it's change, isn't it? It's essentially change, and change is scary shit, even if it is what we think we want. It is scary, but good scary.
Well, thank you so much. Has anyone got any questions for Louise, or like anything you want to like unmute yourself for? I know it's been quite a long call, but it was certainly like an amazing use of an hour.
Yeah, and anyone that wants to message me privately, if they don't feel like they can speak out, absolutely fine. I'm really passionate about all this stuff. I'll chew your ear off for hours. Those people.
I love it though. Should we, Louise, would you mind just stopping your screen share so that we can just do a boomerang?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That'd be amazing. No, I don't apologise.
How do I?
I think you've just got to
Stop share. Stop share.
So yeah, I've got it on the main view.
I fluff my hair up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so anyone who's not on camera.
I'm good at these boomerangs. Who's good at a boomerang? That's what I need help with. What do I do? Just like wave my
Just
hands?
get your boomerang up on your Instagram.
Oh.
How? You click your stories, click plus.
I think I know how to do that.
I can just tag you, don't worry.
Okay, click plus.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Are you doing one? Yeah? Got it?
I don't.
I'll tag you, don't worry.
I don't know. It's okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, wave. Thank you so much, Louise, for freeing up an hour of your time. It's honestly been amazing, and I will. I'll post a recording as soon as I can as well.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye.